What's up, everyone? Now it is 2:40 in the morning on the Tuesday in Asia right now, which is basically 1:40 p.m. On the Monday afternoon in America. And Donald Trump has just been inaugurated, and I've just placed some trades about an hour ago before the futures markets closed in the US, shorting the market. All right, so basically, I'm letting you know my short trades because tomorrow in the Asian session, if the Nikkei starts melting down, then it'll give everyone a good indication of what's going to be happening in going forward in the US market in the next session on Tuesday, right? So first of all, there's been a roller coaster in Bitcoin. So on the Sunday night, Bitcoin fell from 106,000 down to just below 100,000, and then it traded back up to 109,000, breaking record highs again. And then after Donald Trump was inaugurated, it dumped again to about 103,000. So it was like a roller coaster for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies throughout the session on the day of Donald Trump's inauguration. And now he's been inaugurated, Bitcoin's actually fallen back down from historical highs. And it's very much like buying the rumor and selling the fact, all right? So we saw that with NVIDIA, for example. So the day of this huge red candlestick where NVIDIA fell 6% was when NVIDIA came out with a very good, NVIDIA's CEO came out with a very good presentation, and also 6 analysts upgraded NVIDIA's stock price, and yet basically NVIDIA's stock price came down and now is well below the peak price. Now, last video I made was on the weekend before trading last week, and I said I expected the market to basically dump on the S&P 500 below key support at 5,780, which would confirm a bear market top has already been formed. But we shot up because of a weaker than expected CPI print on Wednesday, and also on Friday, China came out with very stronger than expected GDP data. And well, even though China often fakes its GDP data, but anyway, the market traded up. And basically, I told all my friends that I expected the bear market to start, and 2 of my friends sold their entire portfolios on the Tuesday, and then the market shot up on Wednesday and Friday. So I would suspect that they probably didn't pay attention to the markets before, but afterwards they did, and they were upset that they sold their stocks and the market shot up. However, I haven't changed my view at all regarding the bear market, because the conditions in place for a bear market to start forming are all there already, all right? So we're talking about bond yields climbing, okay? The debt ceiling has already been hit, according to Janet Yellen, okay? She gave a warning earlier in the month saying that the debt ceiling was going to be hit on January the 14th. And that hasn't made the news at all because of Trump's inauguration, okay? But right now, the Treasury Department is using different methods to keep the US government running, even though debt ceiling's already been hit. And that will start making the headlines again as time progresses, because they're going to run out of time, and they're going to need US Congress to basically approve a new debt ceiling. So bond yield's going to climb, and also Trump's going to be announcing his tariffs very soon. He didn't announce the tariffs basically immediately after his inauguration, but he said that he is going to basically withdraw basically a mandate for electric vehicles, okay? So it is very interesting that Tesla ran up after Donald Trump won the elections, because obviously Elon Musk supports Donald Trump. Yet, actually, Donald Trump is going to be really bad for the electric car market, because before, there used to be a tax credit for electric car vehicles so that they can be cheaper to be sold on the market. And Donald Trump's not going to renew that tax credit. So electric vehicles are suddenly going to cost several thousand US dollars more than they did before. And Tesla sales has already been declining. 2024 sales have been predicted to be less than 2023. And Tesla results come out on January the 29th. And the other company that is reporting results later on this month. On January the 30th is Apple, okay? Now, if you look at both Tesla and Apple's stock price, okay, so basically Tesla has come down a lot from the peak, and then it's made what is called a pennant formation, and that usually means a continuation of the trend and a more fall. Okay, and as I've said before in previous videos, I think Tesla is one of the most overvalued companies on the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100, and it should be trading at $100 based on just pure valuation, considering its sales isn't even growing. And if we get a bear market and a recession, then its sales and profits are going to shrink even more. And the other stock which has been trading down is Apple, all right? So as I mentioned before, Warren Buffett has sold out of his Apple stake already, and his average sell price is actually slightly below where Apple was trading on the Friday. So obviously, Warren Buffett still expects a lot more downside on Apple, and that's why he's gotten out, because he thinks Apple stock is already way too expensive. And Apple's iPhone sales has basically completely reversed. Okay, they're shrinking now, especially in China. So Apple sales have been declining, yet the stock price has shot up at the end of last year. So in my opinion, Tesla and Apple stock are great shorts. Okay, those are my opinions, because both the technicals on those two stocks and the fundamentals support further decline. Okay, and I think basically they're going to drag the entire market down for the rest of the month. Okay, so for the rest of the month, there's going to be only risks going forward. All right, first of all, we got the debt ceiling, which has already been hit. We've got bond yields, which have been climbing and will probably keep going back up again as the debt ceiling has been hit. We've got basically near the end of the month, we've got Tesla and Apple reporting, and their earnings reports is going to be very underwhelming. And then the one thing that probably nobody knows about, which is that the Bank of Japan is going to be predicted to be raising interest rates on the Friday, okay? And the last time the Bank of Japan raised interest rates was back in July and end of July last year, and the market absolutely dumped in July and August, okay? The Nikkei fell very, very hard, and it dragged the entire market down. So it is a very high possibility that going forward in the next few trading days and for the rest of the month, that the Nikkei takes a huge dump, okay? Which is why my current short positions are Nasdaq. I shorted Nasdaq 100. I reshorted because I took profit on my previous shorts at 21,540 cash level equivalent, okay? The cash market wasn't even open, but the futures market was trading. And then I shorted the Nikkei at 38,980, okay? And I always put a stop loss in my trades at 0.5% above where I shorted, or if I longed, I put it 0.5% below where I bought into a position. That way, if I get it wrong, I take a small hit, I take a small loss. But if I expect something to happen, it doesn't happen, I'm not going to ride a position into big losing positions, right? So last week, I did expect the market to go down, and it didn't go down. And I was debating some guy on Threads, and this guy, Crypto Critic, said, the only thing that's going to melt down is your ego once you realize your short is going to getting wrecked, okay? Okay, so on the Wednesday, I was still short going into CPI data. I didn't want to take profits before the data came out because it could come out higher than expected and the market would tank. So what I did was I put my stop 0.2% above market just before the data come out. And when the data come out, the market shot up and hit my stops slightly above where my stop loss was because the market was moving so quickly. And I covered all my shorts 0.5% above where CPI came out. Okay, so at around 20,980, but I had already short the Nasdaq 100 at 21,600. Okay, so I still made decent profit. And in my opinion, the market having gone up again for another leg up gives a good opportunity to short at an even better level, okay? So going forward in the next session, if the US markets shoots up again, then we've basically broken the downtrend that we've had since December, and it would invalidate a bear market top having formed. However, if the Nikkei falls in this next upcoming session, this is why I'm making the video before the Asian markets has even opened and before the US cash market opens on the Tuesday. If you look at the Nikkei and it falls on the Tuesday, and if it's a big fall, then it's a pretty good indication that the US market on the futures on Trump's inauguration day was a false breakup, okay? And the Nikkei has been trading in, as I've mentioned in previous videos, in a very, very tight range, okay? Should the Nikkei break this very tight range on the downside, which is basically 37,700, and we break it in this upcoming week because the Bank of Japan is raising interest, predicted to be raising interest rates on the Friday, then the Nikkei will melt down very quickly, okay? Because it's been in a tight range for several months, and a lot of people will be cutting loss and shorting the market as well, should the Nikkei break that range. So my predictions for a bear market hasn't changed at all. So I've probably got a couple of friends who are upset that the market in the short term traded up. Even my brother gave me crap, who I'm going to be telling to watch this video. My brother gave me crap because he wanted to buy Bitcoin at 90,000, and then it went up and hit historical highs in the last session. I'm telling everyone now, if Bitcoin goes back down again and hits 90,000, it is going to break that key support, because there's only so many times that it'll hit a support level before that support level goes up. And the last week, when it actually broke key support around 91,700 and it got propped back up, that is because large players in the market were probably buying up more Bitcoin, such as MicroStrategy, and their average buy price is continuing to go up. So I still predict that MicroStrategy will go bankrupt in 2026 if Bitcoin values continue to tank, all right? So for those trading cryptocurrencies, if the market tanks again, despite Trump being perceived as being very supportive of cryptocurrencies, if the market comes down and Bitcoin again hits the 90,000 level, I would advise everyone, including my brother, do not buy the dip again, okay? We've literally confirmed a bear market top. Nothing has changed because of 1 week of a rebound or 1 week of a pump in cryptocurrencies, all right? The conditions right now is basically an extremely overvalued tech stocks, tech market. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is going to be initiating basically the biggest trade war in history, and also the debt ceiling has been hit, and then the Bank of Japan is going to be raising interest rates. So everything for the rest of the month is basically very, very risky for the equity markets, and cryptocurrencies are basically risk assets, okay? I know a lot of people buy cryptocurrencies thinking it is an inflation hedge, but they trade in line with basically growth stocks, okay? When growth stocks go up, cryptocurrencies go up, and when they tank, then cryptocurrencies will tank. And that was basically 2022 was basically a very good example of that, okay? So those are my views on the markets and my trades going into the next session. Oh, one last thing, okay? I realized because I've been calling a bear market since December, even though that's only a month ago, that if the market doesn't fall, then it looks like that I'm the guy who's been calling wolf. The problem with calling wolf is that when the wolf really comes, because we've been bouncing off key support levels further down, okay, for example, Bitcoin at 90,000, 91,000, is that the next time when it truly hits that level again, everyone is going to be buying in at those levels. And if it breaks and we do form a bear market, then everyone is going to be slow to respond, because even though the wolf has come for real, and they're going to take a huge loss, okay? So for Crypto Curtis, who says that your ego, once you realize your short is going to get wrecked, let me give you a message, okay? If Bitcoin falls again to 90,000, then it is going to freaking dump, all right? And the only thing that's going to be getting wrecked is your longs in Bitcoin, okay? Let's see what happens for the rest of January.